Donald Trump's newest Twitter tantrum is landing him back in the hot seat in campaign 2016. Early this morning, Trump went after rival Hillary Clinton and a former beauty queen that he's accused of fat shaming. KCAL 9 political reporter Bryan joins us now with word that this latest Trump controversy comes amid Trump's numbers in the polls going down.
Absolutely. Lena, here's the problem. This came up Monday night, right? Hillary Clinton brought it up in the debate. 4 nights later, it's still alive, and Donald Trump's the one who is keeping it going. Several battleground polls are out tonight, and they're not moving in Trump's direction. And his apparent late-night Twitter obsession with a former Miss Universe, who says he called her Miss Piggy, may be creating even more problems for Trump. The Donald Trump Twitter tantrum kicked off at 3:20 this morning Eastern Time when he charged unsourced reporting about his campaign are made-up lies. By 5:15 in the morning, Trump reignited the week-long debate over former Miss Universe Alicia Machado, who charges Trump ridiculed her because she had gained some weight. In his Friday morning Twitter tantrum, Trump called her disgusting and urged his 12 million Twitter followers to check out an alleged Machado sex tape, becoming the first presidential candidate to urge American voters to watch a porn video. Furthermore, Trump tweeted that Clinton was duped by the con that Machado was a paragon of virtue and concluded that Clinton's advocacy of Machado revealed bad judgment. Issues Trump brought up in a Friday night telephone interview with a New York Times reporter who described the conversation to CNN.
He sort of asserted again without offering any evidence that she'd once participated in a sex tape and just sort of kept repeating, that Mrs. Clinton was making this young lady into a Girl Scout when she was the exact opposite.
Machado has appeared twice in Mexico's Playboy magazine, in one case topless, and she also appeared in a risque Spanish-language reality TV show. The rumor investigation website Snopes declared Trump's claims about a sex tape to be mostly false, since it found no evidence of a sex tape. Hillary Clinton fired back at Trump's Twitter tantrum during a rally in Fort Pierce, Florida.
I mean, really, who gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning to engage in a Twitter attack against a former Miss Universe? I mean, his latest Twitter meltdown is unhinged, even for him. It proves yet again that he is temperamentally unfit to be president and commander-in-chief.
And writing in Spanish, Machado responded to Trump on Instagram that he's trying to intimidate her with cheap slander and lies that have no foundation. On Friday, even Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren got into the Twitter act, tweeting out, "Is this what keeps you up at night, thinking of new and interesting ways to call women fat or ugly or sluts?" Warren concluded, "A thin-skinned bully who thinks humiliating women at 3 a.m. qualifies him to be president does not understand America and is not fit to lead." Some analysts believe that a presidential candidate taking on a private citizen like that is a flawed strategy.
Voters have a lot of tolerance for politicians attacking each other, but they don't have that much tolerance for politicians attacking people like them. And that's how they see people like the Khans and people like Judge Curiel and now people like Alicia Machado. They're just average people trying to get along with their lives. And when big, powerful politicians decide to dump on them in this way, it leaves a really bad impression.
It may have been another tough day for Trump, but he did get to announce at least one small victory. There was an audio problem with his microphone in the hall where the first debate was held, and he raised the question of whether it was a conspiracy.
They just announced, it just came out a little while ago, that the microphone in the auditorium, the big room, was defective. And it was difficult. And when you have a situation like that, and it's bad, and you think you have 100 million people watching, what do? Stop the show? Please fix it. It was bad. I wonder why it was bad. Think of that. I wonder why it was bad.
Now, tonight, Trump also told the New York Times he believes the malfunctioning mic was responsible for about 50% of his problems at the debate because he says it was such a distraction. Trump strongly hinted he would come down hard on the Clintons in their second debate, and also told Times reporter Patrick Healy that infidelity has never been an issue in any of his marriages. Lena?
Dave, how frustrating do you think this is to Trump's political advisors and really his supporters as well, that this Miss Universe issue has gone on day after day like this?
The frustration's got to be off the charts. You know, I really think his advisors aren't talking about the frustration now after having been warned earlier this week not to acknowledge he had problems in Monday's debate. But my guess is his advisors are probably so frustrated they're pulling out their hair. Believe me, I know all about that. Tonight, the problem from their point of view is they believe that on the issues, trade, jobs, immigration, trustworthiness, Trump would win this election. They believe that. But his advisors can't stop Trump from getting sidetracked on personal issues and digging a deep hole for himself. Those sidetracks not only divert attention from those issues, they also make Trump look unpresidential. And that is a lose-lose formula, Lena.